Yes, people. Yes, people. Back in the building. Another big week in the NBA. I got my guys in the building. CM Chino. What you man saying?
Blessed to be back, man. Another week, another NBA, and we have some big performances this week.
Chino, what you saying?
Yeah.
I know you're not feeling too great. So we'll just say, get well soon. But you still made it here today. You know what I'm saying? What you saying though?
Big up, man. Hey, I'm here, bro. You know where I'm. Yeah, both of y'all know where I'm at right now. Like, I am not feeling good. All the players that I wanted at my team dropping big numbers. Kyrie having the number one guard vote in the East, but Miami won't trade Kyle Lowry for him, one of the worst players in the NBA right now. Donovan Mitchell but hey, we're
Woo,
gonna get into all of that. But
woo.
listen,
Boy,
Bam
there's a
Adebayo having a
mm,
crazy season, not being on the All Star list. Knicks
mm.
collapsing.
Mm.
Bam is averaging 22, 9, and 10, but not on the All Star list. Crazy,
It's mad.
crazy
It's
thing.
all crazy. It's all crazy. There's a lot to talk about in this show tonight. But people, whilst you're in here, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. If you're new, hit the notification bell and all of that good stuff right there. At the top of the chat, I've pinned the link to CM's YouTube. He's been switching over between the Twitch and the YouTube, so he's been doing some YouTube stuff as well for the United stuff. So make sure you hit that link and go over to his channel, subscribe to his channel as well. I'm sure he's going to be doing some more content
Yes,
over
yes,
the next couple
people.
of
Follow
days.
my bro CM and unsubscribe from Footimas.
Yo, let's not do this because if he sees this now, he's gonna cover me again, fam. So I'm not involved. I'm not
Nah,
involved.
nah.
If he sees this, I'm not involved, fam. Anyway, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna share my screen so we can look at the standings for the two conferences. Let me just do this real quick. We're gonna go through too much. Let me just zoom into this. We're not gonna go through too much because we kind of went through it and not really much has changed. In terms of the Eastern Conference, we'll start off there. I know the Celtics won last night against the Mavs on the road. They complete their road trip this week.
No, we ain't gonna talk about that. I know the
No,
Celtics
no, no, no,
won
no,
last night.
no, 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 no.
Nah, nah, nah,
We're gonna talk
nah,
about
nah.
it. We're gonna talk about it.
Hey.
Relax, relax. We're gonna talk about it. That's the first thing on the topic, bro. Relax, 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 relax. Right. So the Milwaukee Bucks have taken over the Nets, obviously into the second position again. The Nets losing after their, I think it was a 12-game winning run. They lost their first game, I think, to the Bulls. In a pretty wide score there. The Knicks obviously overtaking the Pacers and jumping into that sixth position as well. But what do you guys make up of the whole kind of Eastern Conference makeup in terms of the playoff picture and whatnot so far?
Hey, from 1 to 6, what we're seeing is I mean, the New York Knicks. I know Chino has an opinion on them, but they've been showing a bit of resolve as of recent, and also a bit of form. Playing well, Julius Randle is you could say is close to being back to his All-Star form from a couple seasons ago, and they're playing much better as a team now, competing on both ends of the floor. Philly, you got Embiid playing at a higher level after a slow start. James Harden, who sometimes he almost goes unnoticed in games, but he can still produce great moments in the clutch for the team as well. And just a lot of guys stepping up for them. Cleveland, we're gonna touch on one guy on the team, but as a collective, they've been absolutely brilliant this season to watch. Brooklyn, they've maybe been the surprise of the last, I'd say 20 or so games, because the run they've been able to do, come together, KD, Kyrie, and many others playing at a higher level. And then when you look at the top two, those are teams that have been expected to reach the latter stages of the playoffs, and it's almost a continuation of that greatness.
Mm. Chino,
Mhm.
Eastern
Yeah.
Conference, bro. What's your thoughts?
No, yeah. Everything CM saying, but CM, as you know, the Knicks, bro, that shit about to fall off soon, bro. They're about to get back in their place down there around 8th, 9th. Um, the Knicks, the Nets. I just realized, I just clocked it that they don't have a head coach. I just clocked that.
Wait, so Jack Vaughn is not? Is he not the permanent coach, or is he still? Is he still interim? I didn't know that. I
Wait,
thought he signed on to be permanent.
Yeah.
I didn't hear anything about that. Can CM will probably double check that. But as far as I've known, he was still interim. I don't remember.
I think they
Well,
made him the
maybe.
permanent.
Well,
Oh, they did.
yeah, I thought after the first like 5 games he was in charge. I think after that point, then they signed him on for the permanent. That's what I thought
Yeah,
Okay, okay,
in
yeah,
November.
in
In
November. Yeah,
November.
yeah, yeah.
yeah, okay. Well, yeah, yeah, yeah. My bad. But no, they've been responding to him, man. Like,
Mm,
what I'm saying, he's been coaching. He's been coaching. I seen I know you guys seen the clip where he drew up a play,
yeah.
out of the time, and they're like, is it gonna work? And he was like, yeah, it will work. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Like they responding to him. The team, they're playing more as a team now. Obviously they're riding their main guy Kyrie and KD, but also them two are being better leaders. They're getting people involved.
mhm.
Um, who else? The Cavaliers. I mean, we known this since last year. We all three of us been having an eye on them. Like they're gonna,
Yeah.
we saw what they did last year, and we're like, they're not going nowhere, and then they're not gonna go nowhere. They're gonna come right back, and then they went and did that in the off season. Y'all know what they did. I don't want to talk about it. Um, they
We
went
gonna
and got a guy like that, prolific scorer, the most 30-point games in the playoff at his age, even more than LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. They got a guy like that out of Utah. They're no frauds up there. The Bucks and the Celtics, they're where they belong.
Mhm.
Philly's gonna be Philly. They're gonna make the playoff. They're gonna get bounced. I don't trust Philly. Like it's Philly.
Mm. Yeah.
It's
Trust
just
me.
Philly. Yeah, my team, we got to get our stuff together. Obviously, everybody know we have to make a trade. We need one more piece. It's just that we need a piece. We need one more piece. You know what I'm saying? Like Bam is gonna beat Bam. We're in and out. You know what I'm saying? The most surprising to me though in this standing is, well, two surprise is Toronto being that far down.
Mm.
Excuse me. And Indiana being that far up.
Yeah. Mm.
But if you watch the way Indiana been playing and what Tyrese Halliburton been doing, it wouldn't be that much surprising. But I mean, if you're a hoop head, like all of us here we're hoop heads. We've been saying this guy is gonna be doing crazy things, Tyreek Halliburton. And like, it shocked me because Roland, you and CM, you guys knew I went to watch that game.
Yep. Yeah.
Listen,
Last was it last
mommy's
season?
upstairs. Mommy's upstairs. Yeah,
Last
last season,
last
COVID.
season
Yeah,
when he was at the Kings, isn't it? Yeah.
yeah, and I
Hmm.
went to watch that one right before they traded him, and I watched him against the Heat, and he dropped. He had 15 or 16 assists against us, and not just that, he's a willing passer.
His
But I was
IQ is
like, this
mad.
guy can score. Yes,
His
that was the
IQ is
thing that
crazy.
gravitate me towards him, right? And I was like, if I'm the king, I will cash in Fox and build around this kid because he's gonna be crazy. And when the trade came out, I text my friend that's a Kings fan, and I was like, "WTF? What are they thinking?
Mm.
Why would they trade this guy?" So yeah, I love what he's doing in Indiana. It's up to Indiana if they want to be in the playoff because I think he can make the play in and put them in the playoff. But it's up to them if they want to do that or they're gonna cash in and Heal and Turner. But yeah, that's the only surprise for me in the Eastern Conference is where those two teams are. You know what I'm saying? The Toronto Raptors and Indiana. But yeah.
Yeah, man. Look, I agree with everything that you guys have said in it. Like, I think Jack Vaughan has done a wonderful job of coaching the Nets into that position that they're in. To be honest with you, I mean, yeah, I saw that clip in this past week where they were just running that play just before the end of that fourth. And so it was and you could see the two main men in there were just kind of like really buying into what he was saying. And obviously that's good to see, because if your two biggest stars are buying into what the coach is saying, putting the egos aside, that's going to help the team overall, isn't it? So it's pretty
Yeah.
interesting. I mean,
Yeah, and not to like take the mic again, but
yeah,
when
no,
you say
no.
that, you remember when Nash was there and stuff like that, you would see Kyrie like looking in the stands or
Yeah,
KD
yeah, yeah, yeah,
talking to a teammate. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
You can tell it's different. They're buying into it, and it's good. That's good to see.
Yeah, it's just obviously respect for their coach as well. Do you know what I mean? That goes a long way. Do you know what I mean? As an athlete, if you respect the person who's actually providing you the instructions to go out there on the court, the field, or whatever it is, then you're more likely gonna buy into what they're doing. You made an interesting point, Chino, about the Raptors as well, in terms of where they're positioned. Because we thought Scotty Barnes, rookie of the year last year, was gonna have a big jump this year. There's been a lot of talk around the league about he needs to improve on certain aspects of his game if he wants to really, continue that trajectory that everybody was saying that he can live up to. Um, so that's very interesting, because obviously he's basically their star. Well, they're trying to make him the star. Siakam is, been performing pretty steadily across the season. I think Fred VanVleet has been a bit up and down this season from the times I've watched the Raptors. So it's pretty interesting what's happening over there. But let's move over to the Western Conference now, and it's pretty tight in that top six there. Obviously, the Nuggets leading the way, but they have a very tied record with the Grizzlies. They're in second. Grizzlies on a 5 game winning streak. The Pelicans not far behind them in third. The Mavs not far behind in fourth. The Kings, taking up a pretty surprising position so early on in the season, in the fifth position. But to be honest with you, they've really been taking it to teams, especially at home in their home games. De'Aaron Fox has been playing pretty well, and so has Sabonis too. There's a shout. Obviously, we're going to speak about the All Star race in a bit, but there's a shout for the two of those stars on that team to be All Stars for this coming season. And then obviously the Clippers making up that top six, and then a few surprising. The Phoenix Suns were top, of the conference not that long ago, maybe a couple months ago. And obviously a couple months is a long time, and they've now gone on a 4 game losing streak, now in 8th position in the West. The Lakers actually been doing pretty well over the last few games, but they still kind of find themselves outside of the playoff in playoff contention and whatnot. But yeah, man, what's your guys' thoughts on the Western Conference this time?
Man, I look at the West and like you said, seeing Phoenix and Golden State down there is crazy. But in terms of consistency, continuity, Phoenix injuries. I believe Devin Booker's out now. CP3 hasn't been at his best. Kind of thing swarming around DeAndre Ayton. There's been a bit of drama with Jay Crowder before the season. So there's a lot of questions around that Suns roster and Golden State. We spoke about them maybe last week or a couple of weeks ago. Them trying to kind of phase in their younger guys and merge them with the current crop of championship talent. And of course, they won the title last season, but well, not this year, last year now.
Mm.
But they haven't been able to find consistent form, and they've been struggling in that regard. Utah at the start of the year, they were that surprise package, but they've
Yeah,
kind of like gone down a little bit as well. And Portland, to me, being in the seventh seed, that's another team who, they're a little underrated with the players they had. Damian Lillard's missed some games. Anthony Simons, I'm high on him. He's a guy who can develop to be and maybe an all-star once or twice in his career, I feel like. But they have a decent team over there as well. Jeremy Grant, I remember early in the season, he's a productive player to have on your team too. But looking 1 through 6, I mean, these are a lot of teams that are for the future. Denver, Memphis, New Orleans. It's a shame what happened to Zion.
yeah,
But Dallas as well. A lot of people saying Luka, he needs more. But look, at what they're producing over there, despite all of that stuff. And then Sacramento at home, they want to press the beam every night, fam. So you
Yeah.
know what the motivation is for them. And even though they've gone under the radar, the Clippers are still finding themselves in a relatively favorable position in the conference for now. Like a lot of questions need to be asked about them and the availability of their stars and other guys when it matters the most. But for now, they're in and around where they need to be.
Yeah. Chino, what's your
Yeah.
what's your thoughts on the West so far?
Yeah, I like everything that CM said, man. The Lakers are trash. um, um, I don't know. I wasn't. I knew. I didn't expect the Warriors to fall off the hard. Suns. Yeah, it's about time. They. I think the Suns are. They should have blew it up with Aiton.
Mm,
They should have let him walk. Um, and they should have find a sign and trade partner and let Aiton walk. And yeah, Chris Paul's getting old. Who else is in the West? Memphis. Yeah, Memphis been doing good.
mm.
Um, I like they've been blowing out teams. They've been playing really good basketball. Dallas. Mm, Dallas is always gonna be in and out because of Luca, but like CM was saying, is he getting enough help? But Luca been putting up some crazy numbers right now.
The whole league, bruv. Bruv, there's a list of players. Like I seen a tweet. There's a list of players, and we're gonna talk about it. It's been some crazy stat lines over the last like 10 days, bro.
Yeah. So, but yeah, yeah, the West look like what I would expect it to look like. Other than I thought the Clippers would have been up more, but yeah, but no, not the Kings. You're right, not the Kings, but they did. The Kings did make some trades. They did get some pieces. I know you man don't know, but they have a guy that we used to have in Miami that we were gonna develop, and I don't know why we scrapped it. But KZ Akpala,
Hmm.
yeah, he is,
Mm.
he is, he is, yeah, he's crazy on the defensive side of things, man. Offensively, I don't know where he's developed, but I know defensively he is one of those guys. Like I know we stuck him on Giannis a few years ago, and yeah, he did. Yeah, he was doing good. But yeah,
But yeah. Like I think on the West, yeah, the Kings they've done pretty well to be in that position that they're in. I also remember Malik Monk also is there too as well, so his experience as well has kind of helped them in that guard position. Um,
Herder, I think Herder or Hunter.
yeah, heard
Yeah.
us. Yeah, he's there too. See, it's pretty interesting. I mean, as for the Clippers, they're on a 4-game losing streak. I think for the first time this season, in I don't know what game it was. I think I saw it. It was Kawhi and PG started together. I think not. Yeah, started the game together. I think as opposed to Kawhi being on the bench and coming into the game. I'm not sure if I saw that somewhere. But either way, I mean, like it's pretty interesting, with the situation because you got John Wall that you brought in, um, and Reggie Jackson is the guy that's starting in the guard position. And I would have thought, John Wall would have had a bit more game time. I think he's proven that he's fit and healthy. Like, so it's a bit interesting why that switch hasn't been made yet. Um, because obviously they needed a guard, they needed one desperately, and you brought him in, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, he's not as explosive as he was, but he can still provide you with a bucket load of assists if needs be. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty interesting there. I'm a bit surprised that Terrence Mann. I don't know if he's injured or if he's just not lived up to the expectation that we expected of him. Of course, last season he was, well, not last season. I think the season before last he was really good. Then it kind of was like it tailed off a little bit last season, and then this season it's just been a massive drop off. So it's a bit mad. Um, obviously, you know, the Timberwolves in that position is we've already spoken about the effects of the Rudy Gobert trade, and how that's kind of affected their team balance. And we thought that they would actually be one of the contenders in the West, following that trade. When you look at that, the front court that they had, they tried to build up, but you know, it's pretty interesting, as well. Right?
Quick side. I don't know what to say. Sidebar.
Yeah, go on.
Well, the Timberwolves. Apparently they're looking to dump salary, and well, they if they can something with D'Lo,
Oh yeah,
and
I saw something about that. Yep.
yeah, and it looking like probably them and Miami will make a deal around D'Lo and Kyle Lowry. That would be interesting. I mean, personally, if he can replicate his Nets days, yeah, but um, I don't know. Let's see.
Because I saw something as well on that where they were saying that he might potentially go to the Lakers. He might go back. Like apparently, like there was something around that too. So hey,
Oh,
who knows? Who knows? Let me get into some of these comments, man. I've been leaving these comments out. But yeah, hey, if you're in here and you haven't put it already, put a hashtag get well soon, Chino. You know, you can hear.
respect, man. Respect everybody. Big up CM.
Come on, you can hear that he's not feeling too great on the mics. You know what I'm saying? So we want to get him back to 100%. So make sure you just drop that hashtag get well soon, Chino, in the chat if you haven't already. Big up to Super Nick each and every time. Big up for the support. Thank you for coming through and supporting us tonight. Big up Manjay as well. He's saying big up Roland, CM, and Chino. Get well soon, Chino. This is gonna be a slam dunk, bruv. Don't do this AA stuff in this chat, bruv. I know what it's please. Get well soon, Chino. Big up NN in the building. Hey, there's some stuff that we're gonna have to discuss. It's on Twitter. I don't know if you've got Twitter, but if you have Twitter, drop your handle in the chat, please, because we got some stuff to discuss, fam. I'm telling you. I said MVP over everything. Better yourself for coming through, my bro. Yeah, see, they're doing all this AA stuff. Like, please, I'm begging. Get well, Suchino. Big up man like Furbs, UFTV. Make sure you go subscribe to UFTV if you can, people. Furbs has been starting up with some content. I'm sure he's gonna get back to it with the start of this new year as well. So make sure you go subscribe to his channel. But big up to yourself, Furbs, each and every time for the support. Man says Scotty Bums. Relax. Bro, no slander still. No slander. Man said CP3 Soul got taken by Kim K and D, but K looked the same since Kendall left. Please, let's not talk about these people there, bro. These people and the curse that they got going on and all of that. Please, I'm begging you, fam. Big up man like Rich in the building. He says, yes, bro. What's with this new time wasting techniques where the 8 seconds only starts when the player touches the ball from an inbound? I mean, I saw some stuff with Ja Morant, you know, just kind of letting the ball roll. But we've been seeing this like for quite some time. Like players do it all the time. I just feel like it's just a way to just waste time, especially if it's game.
No, it's been around for a long time though. That rule. As long as the ball, like you don't touch the ball, the time will be running down. But Ja Ja took it to a next level. Like since he's been in the league, yeah. If you watch him a lot, you will see like he does it a lot. Like he took it to a next level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So basically, that's what it is, Rich. You know what I'm saying? And then saying that Dallas could in my opinion, easily get Siakam and another piece to put around Luka. That would be interesting, but then who they giving up? Because you obviously you brought in Christian Wood, so I'm sure Tim Hardaway Jr. is going to be somebody that they'll be looking at straight away. Do you know what I mean? Like,
what's his name? What's the team? Toronto. Nick Nurse and what's the African guy name?
bro, I forgot his name, but I know you're talking about.
They ain't no bitch. Like you ain't gonna hold them. Like they're gonna fleece you, bro. They're not just gonna be like, yeah, I'll take this and that. Like, trust me, they're gonna
take Tim Hardaway Jr. They take like who else they gonna take off that team, fam? I don't even know, fam. If for the Siakam thing, so it's like you're gonna weaken yourself, like trying to get a piece to put around Luca. Do you know what I mean? You're probably better off just developing the pieces around you, maybe getting some young players in to try and build the team around Luca, as opposed to blowing it up, yeah, and bringing in another
But
piece, and then it just falls apart because there's nothing else in the team, no depth, nothing.
Roland, if you think about it though, Siakam is a better he's a number one slash number two type guy. It depends on where you want to go in it.
Mm,
But put him with a Luca, Siakam Luca, that's a damn good 1-2 right there. It doesn't matter like where the rest of the pieces come from. You are gonna get guys off the buyout market. You're gonna get guys, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna get guys you're just gonna get contract. You're gonna get teams who want to trade away contract.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? Toronto have to match money too and all that type of stuff. So when it comes to trading and the value and stuff, if you can get Siakam to pair with Luca, you get him.
mm,
You get him because that takes a lot of pressure. It doesn't matter what you gotta give up.
mm,
Like it takes a lot of pressure off um Luca
mm,
because that's a score like Siakam. You know what I'm saying? He's one of those guys because Toronto, like Miami, they're an underrated team when it comes to the eyes of the people because they don't play the flashy like they don't have the household name and this type of stuff. But see, I come in the mid range, he will give you buckets. He
mm,
will give you consistent buckets. So that if Toronto is taking the phone call, that's the first thing you got to get past the receptionist with that. Like Siakam, like if they're thinking about blowing it up and you're going for Siakam, like I said, it is gonna cost you, but
mm,
you might as well pay up if you have title ambitions with Luca and you can get a Siakam, you pay the price, bro.
mm,
It doesn't matter what it costs you. Like, there's nobody in Dallas where you will say you're not. You know what I'm saying? If it's gonna cost you like the guy that just got like Christian Wood and then Tim Hardaway and probably some you pay it. You pay it because Siakam and Luca, that's a good start. You get a couple more guys in the buyout market
mm,
and you go from there, bro. You go. You might not get the title this year, but in the off season, there's gonna be some good free agents.
mm.
You know what I'm saying? So, but that's just my thoughts on that.
Cool. I mean, we gotta kick the show off in it, bro. We take our half an hour. We just been talking,
Yeah.
talking. Yeah, let's get the show off in it. So we start off with the first topic. So OKC hitting a franchise record 150 points against the Celtics without Shea as well. Josh Giddey with 25, Lou Dort with 23, Jalen Williams with 21. And my question here is that do we really underestimate what NBA team can do on any given night? Like, because we've seen scores like this. I mean, I remember last season, I think the same thing happened to OKC. I think the Grizzlies pulled up, and I don't even know what it was. I think it was like 160, 170, something crazy like that. Um, but yeah, that's my question. I mean, obviously the result is the result, isn't it? Like, but you know, do we really underestimate what teams can do on any given night, literally in the NBA?
Yeah, all that big fat L. I didn't like how you said. I didn't like how you said. OKC 150. Like, nah. Put more energy in that.
Yo,
Put more energy in that. But
you was watching. You saw something going on, and I woke up the next day seeing we've lost the game, and when I went and checked it on the app, I was like 150 points, bro. I was like, fam, what's going on here, fam? Yo,
but yeah, no, listen. This is the NBA, bro. Anybody can beat anybody at any time. The thing is with the NBA is just that the elites are the one that make it to the playoffs because those are the one that can put consistent run together. But OKC ain't no bum team, man.
Yeah, 100. They're not.
OKC ain't no
Mm.
bum team. It's you know what I'm saying. It's a game. The NBA is a game of making shots and defense. And if your shots are falling, the basket became wider. And if your shots not falling, then that translates to your defense. You start playing like shitty defense. You know what I'm saying. You start worrying about the offense. It get in your head, and you know what I'm saying. But it's all about game plan. But yeah, man, I love that beat down that OKC put on you, man. I'm gonna let CM talk about it
Yes, yeah.
because
Let's
I
see him.
know.
Talk. Let's see him talk about this.
Hey, you know, wins like that sweet you as a fan in it, because the thing is, you watch back the game and you saw like we just had it going offensively. And you know, it's not like the Celtics had a bad offensive night. They
Trust,
scored 117 points,
trust
but
me.
we were getting to the rim at will. We were hitting our threes, and there were at times that I did see Boston get a bit frustrated as the game went on. A few defensive miscommunications, you know, giving our guys a little bit of space to shoot that free instead of contesting properly, you know, getting open looks at the rim. It just wasn't one of those nights for Boston where they were able to get defensive stops and find those answers like soon enough to at least try and salvage something or get back in the game. So
Mm,
yeah, it was a really good night for OKC, and I mean, we're looking at it without Shea. The improvements of Josh Giddey this season, he's become a better shooter at the rim than he was in his rookie year. We're looking at Jaden Williams, who had a good game his rookie year. The thing that you would say offensively he needs to improve on is his shooting as a guard. But,
mm,
you know, his ability to get up there, he threw down a few dunks as well. So
mm.
people in the chat about him. we
Yo.
I was.
Pause. Go
Pause. But
Go
yeah, I'm losing composure, man.
Oh my God,
Yo,
no,
yo.
no.
You throw man off his game, bro. What's going on, Rich, bro? Yo,
Hey, nah.
Rich, you
But
gotta chill, bro. You gotta stop hanging out with Ferbs, man.
trust me. Yo,
but
oh man.
nah, it was a really good game, and look, a lot of the time these are one-off moments, right? Just like we were speaking about when we lost to the Grizzlies 152-79. Even though the Grizzlies are a good team, those are just one-off moments because they don't happen often in NBA basketball. Seeing teams hit 140, 130 sometimes, but 140, 150, those
Yes,
points
baby.
is it's not often. So it was just a special moment that a lot of the Thunder fans, when it was at home, they'll hold on to that for
Yeah,
the season because they know we're not going to be doing anything special in terms of, you know, trying to get to the playoffs or competing like that. But you know, the good thing about our team is that, like I always say, we compete on a nightly basis. Of course, we'll get beaten because we have a young team and they're still trying to learn how to play well and thrive in an NBA setting, which is really difficult no matter how many years you've been there. But yeah, it's a really good game to watch, and you could feel the energy in the arena after every shot was hit. There was
yeah.
a 3-point shot, a dunk, layup, anything
Yeah.
like that.
I mean, the thing about it is just like with players in the NBA, like especially with players that can shoot well, when they're hot, they stay hot. And you know, sometimes when you have that kind of feeling in the game, it's hard for it to just kind of like just dip away, even with a missed shot or and whatnot. I mean, you know, Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown had a pretty good game. When I looked at the box score afterwards,
Mhm.
I saw that Blake Griffin had 12 minutes, no points. I was like, "Steve, why are you here?" And I don't understand what's going on. You know what I mean? I mean, Malcolm Brogdon, I think he scored 17 off the bench in the game. You know, it wasn't a great night for Marcus Smart either. Sam Hauser didn't really score as much as well, and then he usually. But yeah, when you're looking at 117 points, at times it probably wins you a game in the NBA on a regular night. So you know, it's one of those kind of freak results that we'll see this season. And yeah, man, I mean, Shout out to OKC, man. They're still here, man. They're still fighting. You never know what could happen. They could sneak into that play, and you never know because it's still kind of close on the West. So who knows what happens? And obviously, there's a lot of talk about what happens in terms of the draft as well, up and coming as well for the next season. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, let's move on. Donovan Mitchell, a historic night for himself. 71 points, 11 assists, 8 rebounds. Only Wilt Chamberlain has scored and assisted more in the game, with 104. And he's the third person to hit over 70 points in the NBA all time. Fourth person, because it's Wilt Chamberlain, it's Kobe Bryant, RIP, it's Devin Booker, and there's now Donovan Mitchell added to that list. Bro. I mean, what can we say about Donovan Mitchell first, and then we'll speak about like how he's added this kind of element to the Cavs team that, like Chino said at the beginning of the season, even last season, we were saying towards the end, we was like, watch this team. Next year, they're going to be a problem in the East, right? Lauri Markkanen goes over to the Jazz, and his development has actually he's actually stepped up a level as well, which you weren't really expecting with the kind of situation going on at Utah. But then they've added in Donovan Mitchell, and the team looks complete now. Do you know what I mean? To a certain extent, it looks pretty complete right now. So let's talk about Donovan Mitchell and his kind of impact on this team so far this season.
Hey, quick question. Who did Devin Booker drop his 70 against?
Well,
Oh, you don't need to look. I know it was the Celtics. I don't know what you're looking for. I know who it is. I was just asking to see if you know.
He scored them 70 points, man. He was cooking.
Yeah, that was when you had Bossman.
Bro.
You had Bossman 99. But yeah, CM, you can go first, man, about Mitchell, bro. I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah. In the last few years, we've kind of seen a development of Donovan Mitchell because, he established himself as a scorer, a guy that can get it done in the playoffs. I still remember to this day, that series between Utah and Denver, him and Jamal Murray, that duel that literally went down to Game 7, the final play of the game, where Matt Conley throws it up and it just rolls out of the rim, and then Denver go through. That's character building and heartbreaking within itself. But in terms of Donovan Mitchell, yeah, like he's developed so much in terms of a playmaker, and I think it fits him even more so in this Cleveland team when you got guys like Darius Garland, Jarrett Allen, who you can throw dimes to and rely on. Such a great team to play around with, and playmaking is a big part of their offense, sharing the ball. But I mean, what a night he had. I mean, I had to tune in at certain points of the game because I looked on Twitter and I was like, what's going on? Because that same night I was watching 4 games in a row. I was watching Brooklyn, I was watching the Lakers, I was watching some other games here. And my mind just started blowing up. So I turned off everything. And then I went back on Twitter. I saw Donovan Mitchell. He's got like 60 or something. So I tuned back in and saw him going ham in OT. But the performance was crazy because Cleveland didn't even start the game well. Like they were down for as much as 20 before the end of the first half. And they were able to get back into the game. They hit a lot more of their shots in the second half. And you have to shout out to D. Mitch. He did the bulk of the scoring. But then Jarrett Allen came in clutch, really efficient, 21 and 8 rebounds. Cedi Osman had 19 points off the bench, 15 in the second half, which is almost another example of how good they were in that second half in terms of scoring and being much more efficient than they were in the first. And then you had, even though they didn't shoot efficiently, still had contribution from Karis LeVert, Kevin Love, and stuff like that. So it was just a brilliant performance all night. And then when you saw he was at the free throw line and got to get his 70 points, it's just a historic moment in NBA history. And then to have 11 assists and 8 rebounds to go with it, it's just an all-round game. and the interview and the love that he got from the crowd afterwards is heartwarming, because sometimes you go to a new city and it's tough to kind of acclimatize yourself in a different condition. But he's gone there and Cleveland have accepted him and he's played well. The team's played well, and they've all brought into JB Bickerstaff's coaching like they have in the previous years with the previous group. And even though they've lost a couple guys, the guys that they've brought in Mitchell and Co have plugged it in perfectly and made them a better team because of that. And you can see that as a reflection in the conference standings. But, you know, quickly on the Chicago Bulls, I mean, something's going to have to give there because, you know, DeMar DeRozan had 44 in the night. So he had a couple more contributions here and there. But their team, I mean, Lonzo Ball, his status becomes even more worrying as the weeks go by because you don't exactly know what the injury is and when he'll be coming back. And then you got DeRozan, who of course he can be a brilliant player, but he hasn't really been able to produce it in the playoffs when it matters most. Zach LaVine is having a down year. He's had a few injuries and not really getting the production they expect out of him because they want him to be that second or maybe even that first star when they traded for DeMar DeRozan. And then the Vucevic not really working out. So a lot of the moves they've made, even though they had like a great start to last season, it's kind of been a downward trajectory ever since after the All-Star break when they started to fall off. So something has to give with them.
Yeah, I mean, you know, obviously Donovan Mitchell, like first and I think only 70 and 10 player in terms of a game in NBA history, which is crazy as well to think about. But like, yeah, I think he's developed a lot like over the last like 3 years. Like his playmaking has improved so much like over the years. Just watching him, we know he can score. Like I think it's pretty like evident he can score. He's not really been shy from scoring. Like he's somebody that can get to the rim. And you know, like even dunking at times, you know, you've seen him with the putbacks and whatnot. Like he's pretty athletic as well. But yeah, for him to kind of put those numbers up is historic, and especially in a very vibrant city of Cleveland. You know, they love their basketball there. You know, when you go over to the land, it's a pretty lively night every single time. So, you know, and then obviously that team that, you know, he's a part of, you know, we thought it was going to be very interesting to see the relationship between him and Darius Garland this season, you know, both sharing that guard position. Darius Garland's kind of, you know, he's obviously took that big contract at the start of the season, but then obviously he's understood his role. He knows that he has to, you know, fill in at points. There's going to be points where they're both going to be on the court together. They need to share the responsibility. And I think, obviously, the players, the young players in that squad, and, you know, some of the older players in that squad, Kevin Loves, and that they appreciate the star quality of Donovan Mitchell and going to let him do his thing each and every night when they get onto that court. So yeah, man. I mean, look, I'm just interested to see what's their end to the season looking like. You know, in terms of where they finish in terms of the playoffs and all of that, because I think they're pretty comfortable. They're going to be comfortably in the playoffs, no doubt about it. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what he can do, because we've seen Donovan Mitchell, you know, put up some really good performances in the playoffs, and, you know, it's his teammates that let him down in Utah, really, that, you know, in terms of getting them to that position. Because we've spoken about the Rudy Gobert situation, you know, him being defensive player of the year three years in a row, but then when he gets to the playoffs, he doesn't really offer anything else on the offensive end. Do you know what I mean? So it's pretty interesting how that's going to look for Donovan Mitchell into the playoff picture and all of that. Chino, I know you don't want to discuss it, but give me your quick thoughts on, you know, on Donovan Mitchell and, you know, what he's brought to this cast.
Man, what's the next topic, man? Listen, all I have to say on Donovan Mitchell is, interviewer, blah blah blah. You heard you get traded. What was going through your mind? Well, I could have sworn I was going to Miami. That's all I gotta say about Donovan Mitchell. But yeah, great player. Apparently Tyler Hero is better, but I don't know why. I don't see it, but
yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy because I remember when we were talking during the summer in the offseason, we were saying that you were really like pushing for the Donovan Mitchell trade for with Kyle
Bro,
Lowry is because you said
listen,
that him and Bam have a very good relationship off the court and whatnot, and so there would have been some sort of tampering,
bro,
not going off, trying to get
bro.
him.
The man heard he was getting traded, bro,
Mm,
and he instantly no swear down. He said he went straight to Miami to start work out with Bam, bro.
mm.
Um, the thing is right. D Wade went to Utah to. Did you know that since Donovan got traded, D Wade is not a part owner of the Utah Jazz anymore. Did you know that?
Oh, really?
Bro, man went there for one thing only, bro. Man went for one mission only. And Pat Riley failed, bro. Man went to get Donovan Mitchell down to Miami, bro.
Because
And Pat
whenever,
Riley,
because I remember I used to like, I mean, I know last season for sure, I switched on some Utah games, right, just to check in on Donovan Mitchell, and I'd see D Wade courtside.
bro.
I see him courtside at points last season. I remember seeing him. So what? He's just completely sold out. Is whatever is it, minor stake or whatever it is.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Bro,
Right.
man only went for Donovan Mitchell, bro.
Because obviously that move kind of came out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? We were kind of shocked because obviously we knew he was leaving, like, but it was just to wear, right? And I remember seeing last season or towards the end of last season or in the off season, his jerseys in their store were being discounted. So obviously you already know that if they're being discounted, it's not because they're changing jerseys, it's because somebody's leaving. You know what I'm saying? So you might as well get yourself a jersey and that. But then for him to go to Cleveland was a bit of a shock. But I was like, yo, that's gonna turn them into a mad team because what I've seen of them, like, is bruv, we ain't spoken about even Evan Mobley. We ain't spoken about Caris LeVert's been looking crazy. Like since the start of the season, he's been crazy, he's been mad. So they got a lot there, man, that they could challenge potentially. You just never know. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? But
No,
anyway,
but yeah, listen, I love what he did because, you know, the like the pure Ooper in me want to say, listen, he ain't no Carmelo. Remember when Carmelo dropped 68 with 0 assists, 0 rebounds?
yo, yeah. I remember
Nothing. It was just
nothing.
out there
It was just I'm
ooping.
scoring. I'm just
Bro,
scoring,
but
bro.
listen, to drop 71, bro, it what, 10 assists, 11 assists?
11 assists, bro.
Bro, come on, bro. Like that means you playing.
You locked
Like
in.
that's crazy.
Locked in 8 rebounds
That
for
is crazy. Like that, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to him, bro. I mean, obviously you guys know how I feel about Mitchell. I mean, people can say all they want. I mean, I see a lot of crazy things. That's why kids don't buy into Twitter. Because if you listen to Twitter, like bro, there's a lot of Twitter talk. Like I will see like a few years ago, like about a year ago before he got traded out of Utah when he was on Utah. They will do these things with like, oh, Tatum, Booker, and somebody else, and like Mitchell, and people be like, what is Mitchell doing here? Like, you'll go to the comments and be like, what is Mitchell? And I'm like, bro, do these people not, like, why don't people rate Donovan Mitchell? But yeah, Donovan Mitchell is that guy, man. Like I said, hopefully he doesn't sign an extension in Cleveland and he end up in Miami in 2 years' time. But yeah. Um, yeah, I can only dream, man. But
just.
shout out to him, man. The Cavs are legit though. They're legit, man. They're legit. The thing is, what it's gonna come down to is that experience. That experience. I know you know people might say, yeah, they got that last year in the playing, but I mean, yeah, that's the playing. You know what I'm saying? You need that experience. That experience. I know Donovan have a lot of that playoff experience, but it's that experience for when, you know what I'm saying, you're down 2-1, it's 2-2, 3-2, you know what I'm saying? The Cavs don't know those, like they don't have anyone in that locker room. Even the coach is not used to, you know what I mean?
I
So
think Kevin Love is probably the only guy, like, to
Kevin
be
Love,
honest.
yeah. To be fair, yeah. But yeah, so it's gonna say that's gonna tell them a lot what they're made of by time
Mm,
playoff comes around. But yeah, man, shout out to Donovan, man.
come on. All right, man. Let's move on, man. Let's talk a bit about All Star. So obviously a couple of names have already kind of cropped up with Darren Fox and Domantas Sabonis at the Kings. what do you guys think about their performances this season for the Kings? Can you see them being all stars this season? And then would you kind of look? Obviously, the first round of voting has already kind of started in terms of the all stars, and obviously on the East, I'm seeing KD and LeBron obviously leading the race. Kyrie, is in there as well. Very high up on that list as well, which is interesting considering the starts of the season and the last couple of years for him as well.
Kyle Lowry is untouchable for Kyrie. That's what Pat Riley told the world, people.
But yeah, so what do you guys think of those two guys being included in the All-Star picture so far this season from what you've been seeing?
They definitely deserve to have a shout. It's always difficult to become an All-Star, especially when you look at the talent that's out there in both conferences, but just speaking on the Western Conference, so much talent in the front court and back court. And I'm a big fan of what Sacramento have been able to do this year, because they've almost become a novelty side in over the past few years and stuff like that, because they make their own moves, they don't do the right stuff. And I feel like that trade for Halliburton, even though we'll see what happens down the line, a lot of people are ridiculing them about it, but De'Aaron Fox has shown that he can play at a high level and he can contribute to winning basketball. Big fan of Domantas Sabonis. He's a chip off the old block of his father, who, if you know about him back in the days, he was actually like a really good playmaker as a big man. And Sabonis is almost averaging 7 assists this season as in the front court. So it's not spoken about enough how talented he is as a scorer, as a playmaker, and he averages a double-double, especially for the last few years. He's basically a double-double machine. So, they really have a good team down there in Sacramento where they're able to compete. Of course, when you look at the contenders and stuff like that, people will give them the side eye because they're not exactly the team you expect to go deep in a playoff run, much less maybe people even expected them to be in a playoff run at this point of the season. So they're doing really well, and they definitely deserve a shout to be All-Star. Whether they will be, I'm not too sure, because once again, just the names and the level of talent that you can think of in both the front court and back courts in the Western Conference is tight. It's so tight.
Chino, what's your thoughts on those two guys potentially being all-stars this season? They performed pretty well together for the Kings, and seeing them get to that fifth position in the West. So what do you think?
First of all, Paul I'm talking about is tight, well tight.
Yeah, hey, you're trying to catch this guy. You're trying to catch him out today, fam.
I do think they deserve to be, man. I can't lie. I do think Fox is a good player, but like I said, I would have built the team around Halliburton. But De'Aaron Fox is a very, very good player.
Quick, man. He's a fast
Everything
guy.
that CM say, I'm saying about Sabonis, he's the trade, when the trade happened, I was kind of like, what are these two teams thinking?
Yeah.
Because for one, you're thinking you're gonna build around Sabonis and get rid of Miles Turner. And then you're thinking you're gonna build around Halliburton
and get rid of
Fox. But you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I do think they deserve it though, without going in too much detail.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see like who eventually ends up as all-stars for both conferences. And obviously, people, make sure you stay tuned. Obviously, All-Star Weekend is next month, so we'll be running all of the stuff, all the events, the games, and all that stuff on the channel as well. So it should be interesting. Last year we had a lot of fun. It was very interesting. The dunk contest was horrible. Hopefully, we have some good contenders this year for All-Star Weekend. But yeah, let's move on. There's a question in actually first from Rich. Let's answer that one first before we move on. He says, what aspect of the game would you change to make it more interesting? It's tough, man. That's tough.
You know what? I like basketball right now. The only thing, and to be fair, I haven't really seen a lot of moments from it this season. In past seasons and playoff scenarios and stuff like that, there has been a large uproar regarding the amount of stoppages there are in the final few minutes of a game, regarding reviews, timeouts, and stuff like that. Now, you kind of have to look at it and say, fair enough, there are tactical aspects to those things because the referees want to make sure that they get the calls right in important moments,
Mhm.
and the coaches want to utilize their timeouts to speak to their teams or to make sure that they get up court and get a good look or a shot if there's a few seconds remaining in the game. So I do understand those aspects of the game, but maybe if there's a way to kind of speed things up, because I remember at a certain point, it was either last year or the season before, where sometimes you'd be watching the final few minutes of a game and it'd be like half an hour.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's the thing, man. Like, and yeah, I agree with you, bro. Like, I understand why we have those many timeouts towards the end of a game because it's mainly tactical. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're just trying to waste a bit of time here, get up court, you know. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, or just at least just get your team to just kind of lock in for the final few seconds so that they just do what they need to do if they need to get a stop or if it means that they have to score. Um, but yeah, like sometimes it can drag. It can really drag, especially if the two teams have a couple of timeouts each remaining. It's long. Um, but yeah, like in terms of like I don't really have anything I want to change from the game because I think like even some of the changes, the rule changes that have been made over the last couple of seasons, have actually helped the game a little bit better. So like the like the rules in terms of contact, for example, that's changed, right? And I think it's actually helped a little bit because now you're seeing less flopping or people are getting cuter with the flopping. Like if you know what I'm saying, do you know what I'm saying? So so obviously that's improved the game a bit as well. So you know what I mean. I'm
Yeah.
happy with it. What's your thoughts on that, Chino?
Yeah, I agree, man. James Harden was killing the game. The thing I would change the most is, bro, I'll get rid of that ball, ugly looking motherfucker named Adam Silver, bro. He is horrible.
Oh.
I'll get rid. Oh, my bad. I forgot you ball too, Roland. But you're beautiful, though. You're beautiful. No
Yeah,
homo.
me, yeah. My thing nice, but my thing good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
My
but
thing good.
him, he ugly as hell. Um, yeah, I want to get rid of him, man. He's annoying. He's just doing too much, bro. Like
Just,
he, like I get it. Like nah, like let me. Adam Silver, he's such a nice guy. Like I was rooting for him when what's my guy name that died? Stern. When
David
Stern
Stern.
stepped down and
yeah.
Stern named him the successor and everything, I was like, oh, this guy seems like a nice guy. When he first spoke, I was like, yeah, I'm rooting for this brother to succeed. But then he start doing too much, bro. And I'm like, bro, just leave the game alone, bro. Like I know you're thinking about making it fun for the fans and stuff like that, but some things are just better left alone. But yeah, there's not too much I'll change though. Like Roland said, like a lot of the changes I like that. Like the flopping with James Harden thing, like he was getting out of control. But yeah.
Mm. All right, man. Let's move on. Let's move on. The comments are moving crazy right now after what you said, Chino, but it's all good in it. The Pacers are only 3 wins away from beating their Vegas projected total win total for this season. So obviously at the start of the season, there's always like some kind of betting kind of projections that come out of Las Vegas. It's the biggest betting capital of the world and all of that. And the Pacers are only 3 wins away from actually beating that total, which is crazy to think, right? So for you guys, I'm just want to ask the question: what does that say about the Pacers and what they've been able to do at the start of this season?
Benedict pause. What's his name? What's the guy name? What's the guy name? No, no, wait.
No,
What's his name?
why did you do that? No, no,
No, no,
no. Why
no,
did you do that? No, 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 no.
no, no.
Why
I'm
did you
being
do that?
dead serious.
Why did you do that, man?
I'm being dead serious, bro. What's his name? What's
Benedict
his name?
Mathurin.
Yeah, him, that guy, right?
Yeah,
When Buddy got drafted, Buddy said he's better than LeBron James.
yeah, it's true.
bro, you have to have some cojones to say that, bro. Like, and nobody say that. People say, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's where they're aiming to be, like that type of stuff. But he said, listen, I'm better than LeBron James. That's the type of mentality I think the Pacers are playing with this year.
Mm.
And not to take anything away from what Tyrese is doing, bro. Like, he's having a crazy season that's not being spoken about too much. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
But the Knicks reporter say man's a wannabe all-star, bro. Like, this is what I'm saying to sidetrack. Like, how do people like that franchise, bro? Like, who supports the Knicks? Like, it's the Knicks, bro. Like,
Hey, they be packing out MSG all the time, bro. Them men are wild in New York, you know.
yeah, they do
Them men
be
are wild.
packing up. Hey, they be packing up Philly and Atlanta, bro. No, wait, Atlanta be packing them up. They hate Trey Young. But yeah, Tyrese is doing crazy thing. Buddy Hill, man, Buddy Hill, bro. Listen, listen. You see, like I say in sports, offense win your game, defense win your championship.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? We know the same. But when it comes to basketball, 3-point shooting, that's what get 3-point shooting, bro. Wait, why are you man laughing?
Nah, it's the comments, fam. They're moving mad, fam. Vibes
Oh
is
yeah,
moving mad.
bro. The
Nah,
3-point shooting, what Buddy Hill is doing, bro, it shouldn't go unnoticed. It shouldn't
yeah,
go unnoticed. But
Mm.
yeah,
yeah.
the comments need cleansing.
CM, what do you think about the Pacers, man? Like, about to eclipse that win total that everyone thought that they weren't gonna do.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with Chino, and I've done some research up on the Pacers because I haven't watched them a lot this season. I've
Mm,
seen a few games, but a lot of their guys, for the most part, you look at their organization and they haven't really been committed to tanking like other places. They've
mm,
always tried to make the best out of their situation. Whether it was looking at PG back in the day when they tried to do that, building around Victor Oladipo, even though that didn't lead to that much, they've always tried to compete in the play or get to the playoffs. And I think this is just another era of that now, where you have Tyrese Halliburton and Co. And it's really a big moment for them, because you look at the players they have, Buddy Hield and Co. Do you go for the trades like what Chino said earlier, or do you say, hey, we want to build around this core, we want to try and see if we can get the best out of it, make the playoffs, and get more experience for the future? And that's the thing for Indiana. They can try and make a trade, better themselves, or try and support the core they already have. And I
mhm,
just love what they've been doing, because whenever you have a team that not a lot of people have eyes on, and then they start to prove you wrong and people slowly start to look upon them, then it's always a good story in the NBA,
mhm.
because that's another team that is added to the list of many talented sides that are competing for the playoffs, trying to get there. It just makes the whole product a lot better. And then, like what Tino said, Buddy Hield doing very well now, 18 on 60% true shooting. You got Miles Turner, who's shooting a career high from three. He's getting to the rim more and more. Pause. Getting to the rim more and more. This is basketball terminology, people. Man, allow me, fam. I can't be living in these conditions.
They'll be pressuring you every time you talk about basketball. They be pressuring you, fam. You can't say it anymore.
And Benedict Mathurin is the leading bench scorer in the NBA, points per game and points in general.
Mm,
So that just shows how good of a rookie season he's having,
yeah.
spearheaded by Tyrese Halliburton. We've spoken enough about him in terms of his ability. He's improved as a scorer, one of the best playmakers already in the league.
Mm.
So much more growth to come from that core.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's actually an interesting story behind the pace to start to the season, and it's just for me, it's whether they can actually keep up. Because as I said, that team is very young. They're hungry though. Like so, I mean, someone like Chris Duarte's improved a lot this season himself. Like just watching him play, like he's really he's improved his scoring a lot. But yeah, the rookie of the year race, and it's a bit off topic. We haven't got that as a topic tonight, but obviously Matherin and Banchero,
Paolo.
yeah, they're going toe to toe with each other literally every time they step on the court. So it's pretty interesting. The confidence of these two guys and the ability of these two guys and how it's kind of playing out for the start of the season as well. So it's pretty interesting. Let's move on to the next topic right now. Giannis with a career high 55 points. Kind of crazy that he hasn't scored that many yet in his career, but he's finally eclipsed the points total he had before. I think he's hit 50 before, but 55 is his career high. But yeah, what do you guys think of Giannis this season? Obviously, he's in the MVP race. We know this already. They've been able to maintain a good position in the East without Chris Middleton. He's been injured for quite some time now. So what's your thoughts on Giannis, man, this season and what he's been able to produce for the Bucks?
Yeah, he's a top player, man. Giannis is always those guys that you want to root for. I do a lot of throwbacks from time to time because I'm always thinking about moments in my head, and I was thinking about the 50-point game he had in the finals the other day when they won the championship, and that was just a great moment. I enjoy those kind of things in the league, but going back to current day, I mean, the Bucks are the Bucks. Brook Lopez is having a really good year, defensive player of the year candidate. You look at Drew Holiday, he's improved a lot because he struggled shooting and stuff like that in terms of consistency early on in the season. Like you said, bro, Chris Middleton, he's played some games, but he struggled with injury for the most part. So when they get him back at a full capacity and he's able to play well, then they'll be firing again because him missing was something that a lot of people attributed to their loss last year in the playoffs. So it's going to be interesting, and hopefully he can be healthy for this year's iteration of it. And yeah, I mean, Giannis was 15 and 16 for the line in that game. Like, sometimes he be missing, but when he's on, he's on.
Yeah, that's the
So,
thing. What's so funny about that is that, like, with the amount of practice that he actually does on the free throws, yeah, like, I'm actually not surprised at that, like, because we've seen early on in the season, you saw what happened when they were at Philly and the whole incident with the ladder and all of that type of stuff, where he decided, he missed so many free throws in that game. He said, at the end of the game, I'm taking my shots. And then I think I seen him do it again, but it was in another loss, I think it was, and he did the same thing again. He was just after the game, he was just shooting from the line. So yeah, 15 from 16 from the line is actually kind of crazy stat for Giannis too, because he's a bit hit and miss from the free throw line. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what this looks like, because how much more can Giannis really do at this point, in terms of the NBA? Like, Chino, what's your thoughts on Giannis, man? Like, because I don't know what the ceiling is left for him, because what else can he really do apart from win some more championships, and a couple more MVPs? Like, what is the ceiling for him? Because he could be literally the greatest we could see of all time, maybe. Like, we don't know. I don't know if Chino was there, fam. Nah, he's not there, man.
nah.
He's not there. He's there. But what's your thoughts on it, bro? Like,
Right.
what's the ceiling? Because he's kind of eclipsed a lot of what
I'm
people.
back.
Oh, okay, you're back, Chino.
Wait,
You're
what
back.
was the question?
Giannis, obviously, you got them the career high 55 points, right?
Oh,
But we were saying that how, like, what's the ceiling for him now? Because obviously he's won his first championship. Like, he's been MVP.
more.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, what's the ceiling? Like, he needs to get more, right? Like, to be able to be put up there with some of the game's greats.
Yeah, bro, more. Bro, you remember every time I think about Giannis, I think about Kobe. When Kobe challenged him, he challenged him to, what was it? The MVP, and then it was something else, and then the championship. You know what I'm saying? So now it's just keep doing it more. Like Kobe was saying, more championships, like win more. I think that's the ceiling. I mean, I don't. Giannis Giannis doesn't get a lot of the respect that he should get. I mean, obviously he's a very long, lengthy guy. Pause. Um,
Pause. Oh my god!
um,
Now you just walked into that one,
when
yo.
he drive, when he drive, when he drive into the hole, like he
Oh,
literally,
pause. Jesus.
he literally like, you know what I'm saying? Like he swallow up the defense.
Yo, nah, man.
Nah, 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 nah,
Nah,
nah, nah.
pause,
End
nah.
the stream.
Nah,
End the stream.
I'm even mad, man.
End the stream.
I'm even mad.
uh,
Nah, yeah.
no,
That
no,
was three in
listen
a
though.
row. That was three in a row, and it's
No,
three strikes.
no,
Those are three strikes, no, bruv. Nah, what's going on, man?
no. So no, you know, Giannis. A lot of people don't give him the respect because he doesn't do the like the between the legs and the dribble pull up and the threes or in the mid range. I mean, those are some of the things I would love to see him work on, but I've seen him work on them and gotten better over the years in those category because remember there was a point like you remember against Human last year,
Mm,
Roland, you seen it
yeah.
when he was shooting mid range. You know what I'm saying? He was doing stuff that, you know what I'm saying, you would expect him to just drive to the hole, but you would just want him to get he do I would say he do look very uncomfortable when he's dribbling the ball.
Mm.
He's not saucy, like he doesn't look good on the eye, but like Giannis, he's a good, like he can play, man. Like he's a good player. Like he's a good player, and the way the Bucks use Giannis on defense is very
Mm. Hey, Chino, what's going on, fam? Anyway, let me get some of these comments in it.
Hey, Force Patrol got to him.
Hey, Pause Patrol got to him still. Hey, yo, big up Tariq, man. Big up yourself, man. Hey, we ain't seen you in a minute. Hey, he's gone, bro. He's off the stream, fam. He's gonna come back. He's gonna come back in here. But yo, big up Tariq, man. Everyone go subscribe to Tariq Talks if you're in here and you haven't done so already. Make sure you go subscribe to my man right now.
oh my god, my internet went out. They couldn't take no more Giannis length.
Pause. Just pause, bro. Yo, you're moving mad. You're absolutely
No,
moving
but the
mad.
last thing I was saying though, the way the Bucks use
Nah.
Giannis on defense is very good.
Mm,
For unique for a guy like that because he's such a long, lanky guy. When you stick him in the corner and the weak side, and the thing is, you think the paint is clear, but he just comes out of nowhere and just swat your shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he got a lot of length though.
nah, bro. You have to stop this. You have to stop this, bro. Yeah. Hey, we're moving on. We're moving on. Nah, I mean, I'm done. I'm done here. We have to move
Mhm.
on. Right.
Mhm.
Disappointing news. Now Zion Williamson's gonna miss multiple weeks due to a hamstring strain.
What?
After last week, we were bigging him up because he's
Hmm.
really stepped up this season, and living up to the potential that we all thought he could do when he was drafted into the league, and now he's got a hamstring strain, which is gonna
Listen,
at this moment in time, multiple weeks he's gonna be missing, and it's a bit disappointing to see that.
what I would say is I would not cuss him out because
Oh yeah, no.
what I was, as long as it's not another foot issue,
Yep.
and I think what I think is the hamstring. He's doing a lot of he haven't done this much running and playing in
Mm,
a lot of years. It's been like 3 years,
mm,
so it's probably you could something like this you could manage, and you know what I'm saying. It's
mm.
just the hamstring probably got very sore in there because he's doing a lot of work because he haven't played in a long time. So I'll take it easy on him. Pause.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right in terms of the he's kind of been overloaded with a lot of work on the court, in such a short space of time as well. You know, he had a lot of the off season to kind of recover and get himself right. Then he kind of missed the start of the season a little bit, maybe a few games, and then just went into the swing of things, right? So, but CM, what's your thoughts on this, man? It's a bit disappointing, obviously, after some of the last few weeks. He's done really, really well and improved a lot. So, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, it's disappointing for the Pelicans. I think the positive is that because I believe he's played like 29 games this season,
Mm,
so he has been available for a lot of the games for the Pelicans, and he's been playing at a high level, scoring the ball, playmaking, getting better in that regard and stuff like that. I mean, I know Brandon Ingram should soon be back because he's been out for a while now, a couple
mm,
months almost. So they'll be hoping that they can get Bi back to kind of fill in for those missed Zion Williamson time because he'll be out for at least a month with that
mm,
hamstring strain. So that is unfortunate, but they've got themselves in a favorable position in the Western Conference, even though they got themselves back to winning ways in their last game, even though they were a bit shaky, and I think they went 5-5 over the last 10 games before they won against Houston the
mm.
other night. So it's about trying to find that consistency again and what made them a great team, what got them to that position. It's about that, using guys like CJ McCollum, shooters they have, that athleticism they have as a team,
Mm.
and using that to their advantage, playing good team defense, getting back to that. I think they can stay afloat without Zion, but
Mhm.
they'll be hoping that they have him and Bi back as soon as possible. I heard
Yeah.
Willie Green said that Ingram he's back on the court, like kind of doing things here and there, but he's not exactly ready. He had a toe injury, so I'm
Mm.
sure they're taking their time with him, but at the same time they're like, okay, Zion's out now, so it's good if we can kind of accelerate this recovery time and get you back when you're available.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty interesting, man. Like, after this great start to the season he's had, for him to kind of have this injury is a bit disappointing. I'm just hoping that it's not too long that he's out for 3 weeks, kind of thing, kind of situation. It's a strain, it's not a tear, so that's good, in that aspect. So maybe 3 weeks, maybe a month, and then gets himself back, rested, recovered, and he can finish out the rest of the regular season, and then hopefully for the Pelicans into the playoffs. I think they should be.
Hey, big up, man.
Yo, yeah, big up, mans, man.
Manje.
Big up, mans, man. Appreciate you coming through, my bro. But yeah, we'll see you next time, wherever you're gonna be on CM streams, on mine, realist, wherever you're gonna be at, man. Big up yourself. Hope you have a good weekend as well. Um, but yeah, let's move on to the second to last topic. LeBron James turned 38 last week. I think Friday it was New Year's Eve. Um, in the game against the Hawks, he scored 47 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists. He's still going. That man can't be stopped. Wait, what was you man's thoughts on LeBron's performance, man? Because I literally come back, I think, from my parents, like just like celebrating like New Year's and all of that. And I think I switched on the game and like he was cooking. Like he was really cooking LeBron. Like it's just kind of like, bro, I just couldn't understand. I don't understand it. I just don't understand how a 30-year-old, 8-year-old man can do that kind of stuff in the NBA to like he's sunning everybody. Like I seen a post today on social media where he's played against um Gary Payton and Gary Payton the second. He's played against Gary Trent and Gary Trent Jr. He's played against Kenyon Martin and Kenyon Martin Jr. Like he's he's been able to just kind of stand the test of time. He's he's just I don't even know what to say. Like he can still get up to the rim like at his age, and the people at his
Mm-hmm.
age in the league can't do that anymore. They can't jump as high as him, you know. Like he's still just as explosive as ever. Like I don't know what to say about this guy, man. Like 47 points as well in the game. He nearly had a 50 ball as well. Like it was kind of crazy, man. Like, oh man, I don't know what to say about this guy, man. But I will give you some very sus comments from Darvin Ham. So this is Darvin Ham on LeBron James playing 40 minutes. I think this, he says, "I just want to ride him." Pause. And he allows you to do that because he takes a
Pause.
great care of himself. So it's a great luxury to have. Those are some such comments I can't lie from him. Yeah, but hey, what's you man's thoughts on LeBron James, man? The big
What do you mean by he just want to ride him?
bruv. I don't
What,
know. I don't know what that
what,
means.
what do you mean
I
by
just,
that?
I just saw it and I was like, I'm just including it here. That was
I ain't
wild,
gonna, I ain't gonna say too much. My name's tracked down in the dirt,
bro.
fam.
Bro, that was what, bro. I saw this like a couple days ago and I screenshotted it. I was like, I'm reading this because that's mad. What is this? But yo. Back to the topic though. LeBron James, 38 years old, man, still cooking in the NBA, man. What's your thoughts?
Um,
Gino, what's your thoughts?
yeah,
What's your
he's
thoughts?
he's LeBron James. LeBron James weighing 268 pounds from Akron, Ohio. LeBron. No, that's why he's the GOAT, bro. I know people want to bring up, especially Santiago Burrito, want to say, "Oh, if you go to a girl house 9 times and you only smash 4 times, or you been there 6 times and you smash all 6 times," like, bro, it doesn't matter because if LeBron had went to the final with the same help that Jordan had to get to the final, for one, you have to look at this. People don't talk about all the time Jordan get bounced out in the first round. They think Jordan started playing basketball when he started making it to the final. You know what I'm saying? Like people don't talk about he was getting bounced in the first round in his young age. In
Mm.
his young, like LeBron James at what was it, 1920? Took a Cavs team to the finals with a bunch of bum. One of them now is a crackhead. No disrespect, Delonte West. Like,
Whoa. No, Delonte West is recovering now. He's recovering now. Yeah, I've seen him. He's fine now.
you know what I'm
Relax.
saying? Like LeBron James took them to the final. Like LeBron is the GOAT for a reason. There's nobody else in the top five in every category in the NBA in regular season and postseason, but LeBron James. The LeBron can get like LeBron should have 10 rings, but he doesn't because when he gets to the final, he's out of juice and his teammates are bums. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm not surprised at what he's doing. Like I won't be surprised though if next year he comes out looking like Ronaldo because Ronaldo was doing the same thing last year, and then come this year we were like, yo, the drop off is crazy. But
Yeah, let's not talk.
yeah,
Let's not
LeBron
talk
James'
about
head
that.
is still like he's not dunking like and barely get it. Like he's getting up there, head close to
Wow.
the rim. But yeah, that's the goat though.
Yeah. What's your thoughts, bro?
Man, from 03, 04, fam, and now it's 2022, 23. This guy's been dominating the league. Most likely gonna be an all-star this year. And up to this point, if that's the case, he would have the only year he wouldn't have been an all-star is his rookie year.
Yeah.
He's been dominating the NBA for this long. And it's funny because every single year it feels like for these past maybe 3, 4 seasons, like we people been speaking about LeBron saying is he starting to slow down especially at the start because his production is not so much, and then he just ramps it up. He ramps it up and he shows why he is, if not the greatest, the second best player of all time in NBA history
Mm.
because the longevity is there. I don't think any player, maybe bar Kareem, in the NBA, has had the level of longevity and
Mm.
success that LeBron James has had as an individual and in a team setting. And the things that he's been able to do, the moments that he's had throughout his career, carrying teams, going to the 9 straight finals, whether it was with Miami, Cleveland, winning with LA in 2020, even though a lot of people ridiculed that championship. you have to look at the hardship that many of the teams went through. And it really was the strongest two teams mentally and physically that were able to battle it out in that season. So, strictly speaking about LeBron, ever since I've started watching the NBA back in like the mid 2010s, I've learned about him obviously, and I've seen the way he conducts himself and carries himself inside and outside of the basketball court, and it's just inspirational. The things that he does, whether it's the foundations and the kids that he gives back to, it's inspirational stuff. And then you look on the court and his ability to dominate on a nightly basis. They're without Anthony Davis right now with an injury, which could have derailed their season, but he's got the team on his back again, and he's carrying them as good as he possibly can do. And you have to give credit to the Lakers because they have been competing much more than they were at the start of the season, to the point where even though they're not in a great position right now, you could see them probably fighting to get into the play-in or something like that. And LeBron had his comments. I believe we spoke about them last week, where he's saying, I can't compete at this level at the age I'm at, with everything I've done in my career. And that is understandable, because there's always the questions going out to the Laker organization of how far can you go? Because even though you're having these great things, is it all going to be in vain once you get to the play-in, for example, and then a team knocks you out? We have to find out. And this is the point of the season where you have to make those big decisions before the trade deadline and stuff like that. But strictly speaking about LeBron James, just one of the best players in the league, and he's 38 years of age. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
It's unheard of, man.
Hey, but no, before we move on, LeBron James is doing a Ronaldo, I think tonight or tomorrow, on interview on ESPN. Yeah. It's one of them interview. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. People
that's
said Rob Pelenka is shaking in his boots right now.
yo, that's gonna be interesting, because that's gonna be one of those where he's gonna probably force that front office to make the moves, like get started, because it's open now. Trades are open now. Yeah, this is crazy. Okay, so let's wait and see, because we're gonna have to speak about that next week then, in terms of what the aftermath of that interview then. But yeah, let's watch his space. But yeah, LeBron, 38 years old, man, the king. It's just crazy how a 38-year-old can really be still dominating games in the NBA at this point, and playing at such a high level. But last topic for tonight before we wrap this show up. Let's talk about some of the crazy stat lines that we've been seeing across the NBA over every night. I mean, obviously Donovan Mitchell with that 71, 11, and 8. LeBron James with 43, 11, and 6. Joel Embiid with 42, 11, and 5. Luka Doncic with 39, 12, and 8. Julius Randle hit 28, 16, and 6. Bam Adebayo had 31 points, 13 rebounds against the Sixers. Kendrick Nunn was a bit off. Is a bit of an anomaly. He scored 5. He assisted once, and no rebounds. That's a wild one in itself. Playing for the Lakers, and then Klay Thompson hitting 54 points with 8 rebounds against the Hawks. And then also we've had 88 individual 40-point games in the NBA, in terms of last year collectively, which is crazy to think about it. Like, what do you guys think of what's going on in the NBA, man? What are these guys eating? What the hell is going on?
What I would say is, and briefly, I won't go. People is gonna say, "Oh, the NBA is getting softer. Defense is not there." Blah blah blah. Or do you ever think about the talent pool? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like back in Bill Russell days, it was a bunch of plumbers and firefighters, and then Jordan days, there was one in every 5 plumbers and firefighters. Then after Jordan, you know what I'm saying, it's like, a few. And then now there's no plumbers and firefighters. These are all talented guys coming into the league. Like, Look at Scoot. Look at people that are talking about Scoot Anderson a lot, like how they're talking about Wamby. But Scoot is nice too, and he's only 18.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The talent pool is deep now. So like guys, the you know what I'm saying, the like when you when you would just expect only a top 10 pick to perform back in the days. Now you look at the league. Giannis was a second round. Jokic was a second round pick. Like the talent pool is deep now. Like, so guys are just in their bag. But yeah, I just think it's just the talent pool. Like, and then the game is developing. Guys is working on their game more and more. Everybody, the money too that is into the game. So a lot of guys now is putting more money into, getting to Brickley to develop their game, to, what I'm saying, building their house with indoor court. So after practice, they're home. They, you know what I'm saying, they're bored. They just go shoot some shots. So like, it's just little things, just those little things help develop your game, man. But yeah,
Yeah, I agree with you, Chino, man. Like the the talent we're seeing, the performances we've seen this season alone, but every single year, whether it's the players coming in through the draft, whether it's the players that are already in the league, they're highly motivated young players who want to improve their game and be the next guys that are being handed the torch, if you will say. So we're in a great position right now as NBA fans watching basketball, seeing not just the veterans in the league, and we always speak about this really with the technology, with the advancements in technology and the way coaches look at certain things and analytics being a big part of the game. I think that has played a massive role in enhancing NBA talent because your teams you'll be looking for specific players, and once you get that role you want to make the most out of that player. So we're seeing a lot more athletes as individuals and team players uh, be optimized at the highest level. So whether that's scoring performances, defensive masterclasses, and or just other things all around game, we're seeing just absolute brilliance. And at the start of this season, it is a slow at times because in the end of the day, it's the players warming in and kind of getting used to that schedule once again. But once we hit this is like the sweet point of the season where players just start going off. We start getting the performances like we've had with D Mitch, LeBron. We've had some great performances from Joel Embiid and Cole Clay Thompson hitting for 50 the other night in Golden State. I remember at the start of the year, people were saying that he's washed and he's finished.
Hmm.
But you just can't count these guys out because, whether they were top players in the past or whether they're establishing themselves as top players now, that's just a reflection of how great the league has become. And you think about it back in the days, because Chino mentioned the players from those times there. The NBA used to be on tape delay, like
Hmm.
like it wasn't as big as what it was all the time.
Hmm.
And guys like Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Michael Jordan in that next generation of winning championships, those guys elevated the game to a certain point where you can have your Kobe Bryants, your Shaqs of the past, your
Hmm.
LeBron Jameses, and now you're looking in this generation, your Giannis's, your Jason Tatum's, your Jokic's, and of the world, and you're seeing how they can just elevate the game even more through their skill set. And I saw something not long ago saying that the USA have kind of moved. They're not first in the world rankings in terms of international basketball
Oh,
anymore.
really?
And the USA basketball account kind of threw some shade and sarcasm at it. But like, what can you really say? Because when they lace up and go to a whether it's a World Cup or FIBA tournament, then for the most part it's gonna be the US that are the top team.
Hmm.
And you know, obviously there's some fantastic international talents being
Hmm.
established in the league, and I think that has risen the profile and the product of the NBA even more.
Hmm.
Because you look at those guys, Jokic, they're drawing their country and Greece, Giannis, and so many others. So it's a more well-rounded product nowadays in the NBA rather than just looking at it and saying, those stars, you look at them and they're American, but now you've got stars from Europe, from Africa, Joel Embiid and co.
Mm.
It's just such a well-rounded league, a well-rounded product, and it is the elite NBA association, a basketball association in the world right now.
I mean, Chino made an interesting point about the talent pool, being so wide. Because I mean, like he mentioned Scoot Henderson. Like I saw a poster he put somebody on, and it was a dirty poster, literally playing for the G League Ignite. And like you look at I don't know, like genetically, like some of these guys at 18, they're huge. Like, and it's like we don't know what that's gonna like show in terms of the league. Like, because if guys are coming in physically ready at 18 years old, look at Paolo, for example. Paolo Banchero don't look like a 19-year-old kid. Like he built like crazy. So it's like he's coming into the league and he's gonna bully guys on the court, for being a rookie. Like, so you gotta look at them physically, they're another level now, and then obviously in terms of athleticism, they're another level as well, because of what you mentioned, CM, the advancements in technology, just the way they train, how they train, like they're gonna have a lot of individual specific types of training that's gonna help like accentuate some of their strengths in terms of them being an athlete and whatnot. And like I think part of that is what especially some of these younger players that we kind of mentioned in terms of those stat lists. You look at the likes of Bam Adebayo, the Julius Randles, the Luka Doncic, like Donovan Mitchell, Joel Embiid, right? Those players have also benefited from some of those advancements in technology and analytics and things of that nature that is now bearing fruit like across their performances in the NBA. And look, for us as fans, it's going to be great to see over the next several years, because you've got so many good players that are going to take on the mantle of being the top players in the sport, as the likes of LeBron James and Kendall had a question: how many seasons left in LeBron? I think maybe 2, 3. I don't know about you guys. You just answer before we wrap up, but but then the likes of Jason Tatum, Luka Doncic, obviously Joel Embiid, Giannis, like basketball is in good hands, like in terms of the sport. And when likes of LeBron James and KD and people like that eventually exit the sport, you still got so many great guys that are going to be able to provide us with such joyful moments. And then there's a younger generation that are up and coming as well, that are going to also do the same and probably eclipse as well, just because of everything around them. But well, we've come to the end of the show. Nice little hour and a half. But before we get out of here, this question from Kendall, I'm going to put it on the screen. How many seasons left in LeBron James?
I hope we get 10 more years, man. Nah, but realistically, I would agree with you, Roland. Probably maybe 3-4 years, maybe at most. But I know a while back he said he wanted to play with Bronny when he came into the league, and we'll have to see what happens in regards to that when it's the time. But yeah, if he's playing at a high level like this, most likely he could probably just go out on a high. But I feel like something in his mind, he tells him he wants to win one more championship before going out. That would be the perfect way, but who knows, man? Who knows?
Yeah.
Well, how many seasons do you think LeBron's got left?
2 in Miami.
You want him back in Miami desperately right now.
No, yeah, I said 2 more.
2 more.
But yeah, the interview already dropped. I'm seeing clips, I'm seeing bits and pieces on the one basketball thing. Who's Central?
Yeah, we might have to check those out. But yeah, we're gonna dissect that one in a lot of detail for next week.
Yeah, I say LeBron got 2 more years. Yeah, 2 more years in him.
Cool. Right, guys, that's gonna be the end of the show right there, man. Big up to every single person that has commented today. Your
Yeah,
comments.
man. Big up, man. Big up Super Nick. Big
Come
up Furs. Big up Manjay.
Brush.
Kendor, Brush, NN. Even though you're a pagan. Tariq Talk.
Come on.
Vibes.
Come on.
Eagle Eye.
Come on.
CM. Pros only. Big up everybody, man, in the
Come
comments.
on.
I don't know who I missed in the comment.
No, I think you covered it. I think you covered it. Still, big up to everybody, man. Your comments always make the show, man. I appreciate the
Yeah,
support.
man, and sorry for all the pause moments.
Nah, they got clips. They got clips, boy. So hey, clip up the best pause moment in this one, innit? And share it with us. You get me?
Mhm.
But yeah, but nah, Chino, big yourself up as well, man. You obviously if you know, obviously you're not feeling too great. So man, I appreciate you for coming through, bro, and spending
Yeah,
an
bro,
hour and a half with
anytime,
us.
bro.
Come on, man.
Yeah, man, you
And
know, people.
people,
Hey, people, just come here whenever you want to hear from me,
come on.
or you can
Make sure you
catch CM's
hit the link.
chats.
Hit the link as well, man, at the top of the chat for CM's YouTube channel. Make sure you go subscribe over there if you haven't done so already. I know there's going to be a United Twins covering United's win today in the FA Cup, moving into the 4th round as well. So make sure you hit that link there. And I'll let CM actually just let people know where they can find them as well.
Hey, big up, man. You know you can find me on YouTube, Twitch at CM22ENT, Twitter as well at the same place. Those are the 3 hubs, except for Discord, which you can find a link at YouTube or whatever. But you'll find me here. You'll find me here as well weekly. You know, we doing NBA watch alongs from time to time. I'm sure they'll be back soon. A big 3 with me, Roland, Chino. You know, that's every week on Friday. So be sure to hit a like on the video, subscribe, share to your peoples and even your enemies, because you have to be close to your enemies from time to time. So you might as well share the link to them.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, but yeah, man, I appreciate you for coming through each and every time, my bro, as well. Hey, make sure you put a hashtag Get Well Chino in the chat before we leave and all of that. But yeah, people, I'm not sure when I'm gonna be back. I ain't gonna lie, man. I don't know if I might drop something next week, little video or something next week. I don't know. And then I got a little break as well in the middle of the month, so you already know. But yeah, man, we will for sure be back next week Friday anyway. That one's for sure. So make sure you stay tuned for that, and make sure you're hitting that like button, that subscribe button as well if you're new. Hit that notification bell and all of that good stuff right there. And we are out, people. Peace.